Gwinnett County Police pulled over a Tesla Cybertruck going 70 in a 45 zone outside Atlanta around 1 a.m. on a Sunday. Inside was King Harris, son of T.I. and Tiny Harris, wearing a full Pikachu Pokemon onesie. Officers spotted a handgun on the dashboard, an open THC container in the console, and during booking found a suspected oxycodone pill on him. He initially refused to get out of the car, leading to a standoff that only ended after he got his lawyer on the phone. He walked away facing speeding, a seatbelt violation, felony possession of a controlled substance, and willful obstruction. Hours later, he posted a video from a go-kart rapping about getting caught by Team Rocket with a master ball. That booking photo became an internet moment instantly. But to understand how King Harris ended up here, you have to go back to a childhood that was never really private in the first place. King Kandre Harris was born August 25, 2004, in Atlanta, the son of T.I. and Tamika Tiny Harris, growing up alongside half-siblings including Damani, Zonique, Messiah, and Deja. All of it documented on VH1's Tiny and Toya, and later The Family Hustle. Before he ever wrote a bar, his childhood was already content for an audience that had known his father's story for 2 decades. He started releasing music as Kid Saiyan in 2020, putting out singles like Kobe Dat and Bad Intentions, followed by the thin line between a king and a pauper in 2021. He was 16, building an identity inside the shadow of one of Atlanta's most decorated catalogs. The reception wasn't always kind. A halftime performance at a Georgia high school got visibly mocked by students in the crowd. And at his father's 20th anniversary celebration for trap music, a video circulated showing T.I. scrolling his phone through King's entire set without looking up once. The internet read it as confirmation of real tension between them. That tension boiled over in November 2023 during an Atlanta Falcons game when King went on Instagram Live arguing with both parents about his upbringing, insisting he was raised mostly by his grandmother rather than in luxury. T.I. disputed it in real time. The exchange got heated and aggressive, broadcast live to thousands, and King's defining line from it, "I stand on business," became the phrase that followed him into every controversy after. Then came Waffle House, September 2022. He was 17, ordered food with no pickles, got pickles anyway, and when he asked for it remade, a staffer reportedly threw the food on the ground and refused. King went live on Instagram, cursing out the employee, pulling out a stack of cash and telling her everything she made he could pull from his pocket right there. It went viral within hours, with most of the internet calling it out as privileged and out of line. The timing made it worse. The clip hit just days after T.I. had publicly celebrated King graduating high school with honors, turning a proud father moment into a punchline overnight. Behind that viral moment, there was already a quieter legal problem building. King had been charged in August 2022 in Pickens County with speeding, driving on a suspended license, and DUI, and when he missed a court date, it triggered a bench warrant that sat dormant for 2 years. That warrant is what actually caught up with him in October 2024 in Dunwoody, Georgia, after he nearly collided with a police cruiser leaving a gas station. Officers smelled marijuana, found a gun on his hip, and arrested him. Not for anything that happened that night specifically, but because of the warrant from 2 years earlier finally catching up. Notably, he stayed calm and fully compliant through that entire arrest, no resistance at all. 3 weeks later, he became a father. He and girlfriend Jaija welcomed their son, King Jr., and King posted an emotional message alongside a new song called Dear Son, rapping about needing to cool down now that he had a child depending on him. It was a genuinely reflective moment in the middle of everything else going on. Then the 50 Cent situation exploded and pulled the entire family into it. It started with T.I. publicly accusing 50 Cent of backing out of a planned versus battle between them, and 50 responded the way he always does. Not just attacking T.I., but going after his family directly, eventually posting an unflattering photo of Tiny Harris online. That crossed a line every member of the Harris household took personally. King and his brother Domani both stepped in to defend their mother, and King specifically responded with music. His first diss track, Made Man, made his position clear. Going after his mother was unacceptable, period. His follow-up, Salisa, escalated dramatically further. King referenced 50 Cent's late mother, Sabrina Jackson, who died in a fire when 50 was a child, and posted, then wore, a shirt featuring her image alongside an explicit caption telling 50 to dig up his own mother. The backlash was immediate, even from people who'd been on King's side up to that point. There's disrespecting someone, and then there's that. He followed it days later with a third track, Drop Top, making clear he wasn't slowing down. Even T.I., who was deep in his own war with 50 at the time, told his son to pull back once he saw that shirt. He admitted publicly that he wasn't proud of how far it had gone, even while understanding why his sons reacted the way they did, saying he'd spent years trying to keep King from going over the edge, and that 50's attack on Tiny had handed King a fully justified reason to undo all of that restraint at once. 50 Cent never responded on record, and T.I.'s own song from the saga, Let Him Know, ended up charting at #1 on urban radio as part of his retirement album. Weeks after that dust settled, King was back in handcuffs in a Pikachu onesie on the side of a Georgia road. In December 2024, despite everything, King and T.I. performed together at iHeartRadio's Jingle Ball in Atlanta, less than 2 months after King's first arrest that year, and just weeks after becoming a father. In a later interview, King said the only real friction between him and his father comes from how similar they actually are. That word carries weight, because T.I.'s own early biography includes arrests, weapons charges, and the same defiant refusal to back down that defines King's story now. From a distance, King starts looking less like a cautionary tale and more like a direct reflection of where his father started. Through all of this, the music has kept coming quietly. Collaborations with Domani, appearances on Wild 'N Out, more singles released between controversies, each one arriving with less attention than the chaos surrounding it. As of now, King Harris is waiting on a court date for the felony charge from the Gwinnett arrest, a charge that doesn't disappear once the bond gets posted and the go-kart video goes up. It follows him to every future interaction with police, every business conversation, every next chapter of whatever career he's trying to build. He's addressed the 50 Cent situation directly in interviews since, saying he regrets that it escalated as far as it did, but stands by defending his mother regardless of the cost, which might be the most honest thing he's said publicly through any of this. He became a father at 19. He's had 2 arrests before turning 22. He's argued with his father on a live stream watched by thousands, then performed beside him on a major stage 2 months later. He's the son of 2 of the most recognizable names in entertainment, figuring out who he actually is in completely public view, with every misstep turned into a headline and every legacy comparison impossible to escape. The next chapter, the courtroom, the music, fatherhood, is still being written. Based on the first 21 years, it's safe to say King Harris isn't going to write it quietly. What do you think? Is this a young man still finding his footing, or a pattern that's only getting more serious? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for the next update.